Hey, welcome back to Creative Chat Cafe, the talk show hangout that brings you guidance, inspiration, and results for all your marketing, business development, and leadership needs. If you're wondering where to watch this is the website for it, www.entrepreneurs.soar.com. And if you're wondering, hey, does this show have a hashtag? Of course we do. Hey, this is the 21st century. Who doesn't have a hashtag? Hello. So we do have a hashtag. If my hashtag would work with me, it doesn't want to work. There you go. Technology, love it when it works, hate it when it doesn't. So this is a hashtag Creative Chat Cafe. You can Google search hashtag Creative Chat Cafe and get caught up with all our previous episodes of Creative Chat Cafe, which are at every Wednesdays, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on entrepreneurs.soar.com. So let's get started, right? So I have two great hosts with me here today. My regular sidekick, Miss Super Julie Braun, all the way from Seattle. Hey, Julie, welcome back.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. And I actually have, a brand new rookie on the in the room, as you can see. If he can hear us, hey, Rich, you're there? Okay, now you're muted. Okay, cool. Yay!
I'm
Welcome, Rich. He got it. Woohoo! We love that. Rich, welcome to the show.
You got double rich.
You got double rich. That's okay. You're special, Anyways, just want to say welcome. So, folks, you're probably wondering, what the show is all about, especially if you're new, you're rookie like Rich. You're probably wondering, what in the world is Creative Chat Cafe? So, usually in Creative Chat Cafe, we have three things that we do. Basically, the first thing, we'll just have a, casual conversation. Today's topic is how to identify a talent's potential. So if all of you out there are very familiar with this process, we want to listen in, because maybe some of you out there are trying to figure out, how do I, identify one of the potentials I want to work with, right? So the second part of the show, we will be talking about tips, tips and results. We will, between me, Julie, and also Rich, will kind of share our tips and experiences with this topic. And last of all, we have some kind of inspirational resources for you, so you can actually identify maybe a potential person that you want to work with. So Julie, and Julie's also the expert in this topic, because with Super Interns, Julie, you do a lot of hiring, yes?
Yes, we do. I think probably on the average in a year, we can meet with, I'm going to guess, probably close to 1,000, maybe even 2,000 if I did the numbers, of people. So that's a lot of people to meet and interview and decide, are they going to be good, are they not? We also do higher level recruiting as well. So we don't just work only with interns, but yeah, we have some experience in this area for sure.
So since you're on that topic already, why don't you give yourself, why don't you give our audience here an introduction of who you are and what you do and what Super Interns is? I know you gave a little snippet there, but maybe just a little bit more introduction of who you are.
Yeah, so superinterns.com, what we do is we help businesses and organizations grow successfully by utilizing virtual interns. We also help interns get amazing internships that then they can leverage into a career, a job that they've been dreaming about having. And interns can be anywhere from 18 to 88. So it's not just locked in.
I love that.
It's not just locked in for students, but it can be anyone who wants a career change, or maybe they're a stay-at-home mom or dad and they need to get back into the workplace. An internship is a great way to do it.
Right.
And when we think about companies needing help, they can get experienced unemployed professionals or the graduate students. So yeah, we're helping both sides of the equation.
Awesome. Thank you, Julie. Thank you. So our rookie right here, Rich, why don't you, introduce yourself so our folks out there will know who you are and what you do, because I know you do a lot of coaching yourself.
Well, I primarily do a lot of speaking and training. I am the resuscitator.
Yay!
Okay? I bring recessor work to organizations, and a lot of organizations are focused on having fun at work.
Yeah.
What I work on with companies is being a fun place to work, and there's a very, very there's a big difference there. Having fun at work is the things we hear about, the casual Fridays and the silly half days and whatnot. But being a fun place to work is something that exudes, in your memos and the way you interact with your customers. And that has a bottom line impact. So it's a lot of interactive, fun, playful experiences, but we take it to the bottom line.
I love that. Thank you so much, Rich, because I think, thank you. One of the biggest thing I think that, companies, businesses, and recruiters are doing are changing the way they hire. And I believe both of you can actually bring this to the table where the talent market is getting very competitive, right, and tighter by the day. There's these days potential of talent speaks louder compared to the resumes or their college work, or whether the talent himself or herself is competent for the position or job. Because I was just saying to Julie, if I put on a robe and put on a hat and put on my glasses, would she hire me? Something like this. I'm just going to show you what I have. Maybe Julie might find me interesting to hire. Will you hire me, Julie? Not necessarily these days, right?
I like you better with glasses.
Let me find the glasses that you love so much, right? So, right here, you mean? Do I look smart now?
Very, very, very geek chic.
Yes, but Julie, you and I know these days what our visuals may not really represent our true selves, and companies are not going to use that as their first impression, really. But in your expertise and your roles at super interns is not only to seek potentials but also to help them in their career development. What do you look for, Julie?
Well, I think we always look for fit first, and everyone talks about fit, and fit is really about, are they going to fit within your organization? Are you going to enjoy them? Are they going to enjoy you? But more important than that, because obviously fit is probably number one, but even maybe a little more important is problem-solving skills.
Yes.
This is something that we look for in everybody that we work with. In fact, I like to say I never answer a question. What I would rather do is I like to ask questions. So if somebody comes to me with a problem and they say, I don't really know what to do in this situation, I've got a problem, what do you think? I'll immediately turn around and say, well, what do you think we should do? And I get them thinking about the possible solutions, because very often I don't know the answer. I think that that's a big fallacy that companies build around them, that they think, maybe the CEOs or the managers of the department or the directors or whoever know everything. And they don't. Very often they're scratching their head saying, holy crap, I don't know how to fix this either.
So I think in the long run, also, sorry, but to just quickly jump in support to what you're saying. So what I'm hearing is also there's a lot of collaboration between the individual, the potential talent himself or herself with the company, because these days companies change strategies often, and companies are looking to really collaborate with their talents, not only, them deciding most of the decisions in there or making big decisions. They want their talents to have a say in it. Am I right?
Yeah, totally. You know what? You just reminded me very quickly. We have been working on our blog for a long time at Super Interns. And we have a new person who just came on board. And she said, I have an idea about developing content. What if our goal for each one of the writers is to write 10 posts by Saturday? And when we
That's an idea.
When we did the math, we figured out that we would have an entire year's of content written in 7 weeks.
Wow.
So now we are calling this the 7-week challenge.
Mm-hmm.
All of the writers are responsible for writing 10 posts each Saturday. We see if we make our goal or not. We've made our goal for a couple weeks now. We're really making some progress here. I would say by the middle of October, maybe the end of October, we will have an entire year worth of content written and scheduled in our blog. I get to take a year off if I want to.
Woohoo! High five! High five! High five! You know, that's so awesome. That's really awesome because these are the changing times where companies are really looking for this kind of potential. Let me really segue to Rich here real quick. Rich, I know you work with individuals and groups to help them to kind of expand. You're about the recess person, right? So I'm sure part of what you do to bring this recess to work is, you know, you help them expand their minds, you know, grow up and think outside the box. But I also see some sort of a party mindset to work because recess helps. I mean, having this mindset helps you be at ease a little bit, and sometimes it's about asking it to the party. So why does it only invite it to the party, and how important is this to help identify a talent's potential? Can you explain the it factor here a little bit,
Okay.
Rich?
How about we call it IT?
IT. Oh, okay. Hello. Go them. Tell me about that.
Well, you know, well, first of all, I do want to say something to Julie, because something Julie kind of said that really, you know, I believe you hire people smarter than you. Okay, and Julie, I think you kind of like, you tipped on that a little bit. Because you hire people smarter than you, they'll make you look good. But, you know, but one of the challenges that I see, you know, I call it the hire, you know, invite more than IT to the party. You know, we work in like small groups, and we work in homogenous groups. So IT only works with IT, and finance only works with finance. And marketing only works with marketing. And there's this wealth of knowledge in organizations that people are just not tapping into. You know, so they'll pay thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars to bring in consultants, where the people sitting in their own offices, have talent, they have ideas, they have experiences, but because somebody was hired to do IT or accounting or finance, we leave them pigeonholed in those situations. The person who probably knows the most about your organization could be your receptionist.
That's so true. That's so true. Very true. Very true.
And what I try to do when I bring groups of people together, because I'll work with leaders, I'll work with managers and leaders in an association. And when you bring all these people together and you start, doing, exercises and activities, and I use a lot of play and whatnot when I work with groups. When you start bringing these people together, we really do find that we do think a lot alike in so many ways. And sadly, it takes an in-service or a training to bring these people together to find that out.
Very true. And you know what, Julie, what Rich just said, that to me it's so true, because sometimes, I don't know, you know how like when you go to networking events and you meet people from different industries, different backgrounds, and you would just quickly judge them, probably would not, you don't see that person fitting into your team. And then when you start speaking for a little while, talking a little bit, talk about ideas, and suddenly this person says, hey, you know what, why don't you try this, try XYZ, and you look at this person, wait, you're a macrobiologist, do what? And they go like, but I love business. And have you experienced that, Julie?
I have, and Rich, I'm so glad that you brought this topic to light, because I do think that the people who solve our problems, when they come in and they have fresh eyes, like for example, this person who came in and said, well, why don't you guys just goal yourself every week? I mean, I can't tell you, we have tried everything for the last 6 years to get content developed at the level that we want. And for this new person to come in and just say, well, gosh, I think that if everyone just did their part and every week we shared what we've done, that would solve the problem. I mean, if I weren't working virtually with them, I would have kissed her. Because I was so grateful. I was like, mwah, 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 mwah. I love.
You had a dong moment. You had a dong moment. Yes.
Yeah, and it was when you bring those fresh eyes and people from different departments. I love having the attorney come into a creative meeting, because the attorney will sometimes think of the most wackadoodle, out into the orbit idea, which if we can rein it in, will be the perfect idea.
Right.
So thank you, Rich, for bringing this topic to light, because I do not think enough people think the way you think about business.
Well, and if I may share a quick story, Zeph. So
sure.
A friend of mine, came out of school with a degree in like design, and he went to work for a company, it's a very small company. So he had a degree in design, and a friend of his had a business degree, and the two of them worked for this small company, and they both hated what they were doing. So the guy who was designing like video games, hated what he was doing. The guy who was doing business development, hated what he was doing. And their boss was leaving town one day, and they said, "We don't want to do our jobs anymore. We want to switch."
Just like Swap Wives, the TV show, right?
Neither one of them is trained.
Right.
And the boss said, "Just do what the F you want." Okay, small business, that's how they talk.
Right.
Okay? It worked out. The company was so successful. My friend now has his own company where he does business development for the company. But it took him saying, "You know what? I'm a smart guy, and what I learned in school that allowed me to be a good video game designer, I could do business development as well." And it took a boss saying, "Go ahead, give it a shot."
What a fantastic illustration of, I think, that entrepreneurial mindset. We allow ourselves in small business to do that kind of stuff because we think, well, what's it going to hurt? It's not going to hurt our bottom line. I mean, it's one day or it's 1 week or whatever. But the bigger companies don't really think like that unless you're Google. Yeah. And I mean, I'd like to say Google is smart in this way because they allow 1 day a week where all of their people get to work on whatever project they want. It doesn't have to do anything in their department. It doesn't have to be anything that they're even have a relationship with. It just needs to be an idea that they want to really increase and develop. And it's interesting that 20% of the week, so 1 day, if you think they work 5 days a week, 1 day a week, everyone gets to play, creates 90% of Google's products.
Yeah.
It's astonishing. So if we could, in our business, take that kind of thinking that Rich is talking about, I think that all of us would be more joyful going to work. We'd have a whole lot more fun, and we would be learning and teaching each other things that we don't currently know about.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that Rich, what you're doing, I love the fact that you're bringing recess to work. I think one of the part of what Rich is saying is also some businesses, it doesn't matter whether you're a big business, a small company, medium-sized company, we don't take enough time to take recess or take a break and kind of hang out around people who are not from our industry, who are not from the same thinking level, or who are not in the same path, because we don't take that time thinking that these people are irrelevant to the process. But believe me, they are, because I have in many times experienced that when I'm in a circle of people. Just this past weekend, I was talking to this group of people whom I just met at a casual event. It was supposed to be a nice day at the vineyard, just hang out and and just chat, just hang out with friends of friends. And I was talking about how I wanted to take my story about my new venture with a hot sauce on the road, and he asked me a question, and this guy was an engineer, aerospace engineer, and I'm like, he asked me a question, so why would I want to buy your stuff? And I told him the story, and he went like, I love that story. You should take it on the road. That's your angle. And then he proceeded to say, now I'm going to give you a couple more tips because I took classes on storytelling and improv comedy. And I was like, hello, you should help me develop this story, duh. So to support what Rich was saying and Julie was saying, it's so true. You never know, who you're meeting or who your potential talents are until you go out and meet them. So Julie, let me quickly go to the tips and ask you, what kind of tips do you have for us out there who probably are looking to identify talent for us, for our team, because this is one of the hardest skill sets to do and to acquire, trying to figure out who's good for your team. Or does this person have the skill? Does this person have the skill? Do you have any suggestions, tips for us?
Well, we take people through a recruiting process, and we recruit a ton of people, and then we select very, very few. So we start with the masses, and then we work down to just a few key people. And when we go through interviewing, our interviewing process is probably a little unique, but then it's also a lot like what everyone else does. And I don't love interviews, I have to tell you, because not everyone's always honest, and you don't always get the real flair and flavor of the person. But what happens next is very telling. What we like to do as we start to bring people on board is we really want them to understand our vision. And we really tell them the why behind our company. Why have we created Super Interns? What is our greater purpose? What's the master plan? What is our magnificent obsession about? And they understand. So
tell us, let me give you a role.
Yeah.
We love that.
For sure, we need sound effects, for sure.
Yes.
But when we share this with them, you can see the light goes on in their eyes, or they might get a little drool in the corner of their mouth, where they get really excited, and you feel their energy level starting to increase. And then you start getting the sense of this person is understanding the greater vision and that they're going to become part of it if they get chosen for this position. And that's where the passion comes in. And that's where you start feeling, okay, this person, I'm not going to need to motivate them. I just need to inspire them. And they're going to be an amazing fit, and they're going to now be a contributor, and now they're going to start leading us.
Yeah.
So part of that interview process isn't so much, it's asking them a lot of questions, it's asking them to tell some stories and giving some examples and that sort of thing. And again, we do some unique things with that, but it's also sharing our story and seeing the reaction. Now, if I don't get any reaction, if they're stone-faced, or if they've got a smile plastered on their face and it's disingenuous, then I know this person's not going to be right for us. So I think it's some of those innate kind of intuition feelings that you start having about other people's vibration and their energy level and that sort of thing. And that's really how I think we've had so much success bringing people who are problem solvers, enthusiastic, great fit. All of those things happen here at Super Interns.
Those are really great tips, and I think those are really great tips, especially when you're interviewing somebody who probably you want to bring into your team. For me, what I want to share today, my tips is actually evaluating the potential of the talents on your existing team. And I kind of use two indicators to figure out if they have it or not. I think many small businesses don't take the time to pay attention to this, and one of it is curiosity. I love to assign things or assignments or tasks, and I ask questions like you said, Julie, and then use that question to see how curious do they get on certain topics, tasks, assignments, because from there, if they get curious and they do their own digging, that's an indication for me that this talent, wants to learn more, wants to learn as much as they can on this internship that they're on, and they want to learn more from me, maybe be my apprentice, who knows. That curiosity level, that if you have it, folks, that's a great indicator. I mean, one of the things, I think, Julie, you taught me this, right? I think in the first some of our past conversation, I've said, how do you make your talents, get the information that you need? Tell them, don't ask you the questions, go to Uncle Google, because Uncle Google will have them. And if they do that well and they follow through that curiosity, they will get the answers. So I use that curiosity indicator to tell me if they really, really are the talent that I want to work with or keep them on my team. Second of all, I use...
Yeah, I'm curious about the second thing, if it matches with the curiosity.
The second thing is engagement, because if they're curious, they go to get the answers, right? And they're not engaging that back to you or communicating that back to you, then you'll know that's no match, because they're just doing the work and they're just taking it all in, and take, and nothing to give back. So I use engagement to kind of evaluate, their potential. Can they actually communicate what they've learned from, researching through their curiosity, and then tell me back what they found out, So I use these two things, curiosity and engagement. What about you, Rich? What's your process? What's your tips for
all over the place right now, Zeph. So many things you've talked about, but my first thing is, I actually think that someone's personnel file is the first place to start. Because I always tell my clients, when there's a problem, if you actually pulled out your notes from when you interviewed this person,
yes,
all your answers would be there. But at the same token, you use that because when you took those notes, you probably saw some other things in a person. When we took the notes, we hired, we went through the onboarding, and we put that file away someplace, never to be looked at again. And in that person's, file is a ton of information on stuff you're missing. So I'd start there. Look, I'm a big fan, and I tell my clients this all the time. Invite new people to your meetings, to your brainstorming sessions, to your problem-solving sessions. Invite people you normally wouldn't invite. Don't invite 20 people. 20 people doesn't mean, you're going to get answers.
Yeah.
20 people is 20 hours of lost productivity plus the time before and the time
Don't
after.
Don't invite 20 people who just want to have a party.
Oh, yeah.
Or free pizza.
And, Julie, it's interesting because, we keep hearing the last, maybe 5 years or so, hire a fit, hire a personality. And I think people are doing that. I think they're forgetting, what they hired and who they hired. And when you're bringing in experts to help you, because I do think you need to bring in those experts from time to time, it doesn't have to be, from your industry. I know, Zeph, you work with entrepreneurs. And, many years ago, people said I should hire a speaking coach. And the speaking coach wasn't working for me, but I hired an actress.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, and
there you go.
She did amazing things. And then I needed a creative coach, and I went and hired a clown. Okay?
Love it. That is so cool.
The guy is brilliant. He's brilliant. And he got me thinking in a way, so, whether you're in a company inside or, look, I would look inside and say to myself, who's my weekend DJ? Who's my weekend clown? Because he or she may be an accountant on your team, but they may be bringing a heck of a lot more.
Yes, I totally agree. Very true. And
I love it.
You have something to say?
I'm just going to say, Rich, I am giving you genius points today because the clown and the actress alone is what will really, it's what will really make you remarkable. It's what will make you stand out and different from everyone else that is hiring a coach and that is hiring a, speaker, expert, presentation person. You are going beyond that. You're adding whole other layers that may have existed, but now people are pulling that out of you in a way. I'm guessing that there's a bit of a clown in you anyway, Rich. I see
You
that.
think?
But Julie, remember this. They always say we talk and speak and work about the things we need to work on the most.
So true. Oh my God, this is fun. Anyways, I wanted to share with everybody. I found this. I've always loved John Maxwell, and I found this book. I haven't had the chance to read it yet, but it's on my book list. I actually found a PDF version of it. But the title. Let me share this image real quick. The title of this book is called "Talent is Never Enough," and it says right here, "Teachability expands your talent. Talented people often think they know it all, and it makes it difficult for them to continually expand their talent." Oh my God, that is so true. When you actually think that you know it all, you never grow in your mindset. Julie, and I know that you work with a lot of, talents. Do you see this as a problem for many, thinking that they know it all? And when it comes to speaking it or doing it, they never follow through really.
Inside of our company, no, I don't experience that ever, because we always look for lifetime learners. So people who are curious and engaging, we look for those. Right. But we work with some clients who do think they know it all. And it's really funny when we first engage with them, they'll say things like, well, I had a bunch of interns and they were horrible. Or, I've got somebody now and they're just, they're okay. And the first thing I really try to tap into is, well, what is your part to that? So let's not blame the outside source. Let's not blame the intern. Let's look at you first. Let's hold up a mirror and let's talk about you and your problems. That's true. When we start going there, they start having these realizations that they're open to it. So now this is where we're starting to crack open the door of, you have something to learn, because if you don't learn these things, I promise these things will keep happening to you over and over and over again, and it won't just be your interns that hate you, or it won't just be your interns who are horrible, but all of your employees are going to be horrible, and your employees are going to hate you. So figure this out. Look towards yourself first and learn from us. Let us teach you some things that you may not know, and then you will be able to grow and flourish, and you'll see the improvements from that. And when we engage with clients, that's a conversation we have very early on, because we do work with a lot of know-it-alls. They're experts in their field. We work with attorneys and financial planners, and we work with pharmaceutical companies, and I mean, we're across the technology. Some of our technology people, they're absolute geniuses when it comes to development of technology. But then when we start talking to them about people, they think they know how to manage people, and they might think, oh, I'm a great manager, and we're like, yeah, not so much.
Rich, and I wanted to ask you this, Rich, because I know in you just talking about the topic of bringing all these different people to meetings, because we want fresh ideas, different perspectives. I'm most certain and confident that you've met so many know-it-alls just because they feel in this kind of maybe a focus group or whatnot, because you're bringing all different types of people from different backgrounds and industry. I'm certain you've encountered some know-it-alls. What's your take on this?
Well, it's interesting because if somebody hires me, they know that I'm coming from that direction anyway. So I've already broken past that barrier for the most part, Zeph. Right. But I have met those people, and I live by a simple rule that if you think you can't learn something every day, first of all, you don't deserve to have a team, and you don't deserve to be on a team. And you're going to end up being by yourself, and how relevant are you going to be if that's the case? Every day I kind of wake up, what can I learn today? I was just talking with a client this morning, about a conference I'm speaking at next weekend. Their attendance is down. And
Wow.
and one of the things she said to me was, people think they have nothing more to learn. And that's a really sad attitude.
Very. Very, very, because we all know, especially if you have your own business, right? Your learning just doesn't stop because there is something that you learn every day. Because you're the CEO, you're the bottle washer, you're the babysitter, you're the driver, you're everything. How could you possibly know everything? You may be an almanac or a GPS or whatever, but you may not know something. I can definitely put my money on it that there's something that you don't know about your business yet, and it's a learning
And Jeff, it's
process.
not even maybe about your business. I tell my clients to do this. I tell my clients every single person in their department has something to teach them. And I actually tell them once a week to have a learning moment where somebody in the department, it could be a tip on how to use a piece of software. It could be anything. But every single week, if one person commits to just sharing something,
There you go. Right? So, you have something to say, Julie?
I was just going to say, I have got so many notes from both of you about things that I'm going to do differently
There
and
you go.
improve in my business. I'm just really so thankful that I showed up today.
Yay! Because
hey,
I mean,
that goes three ways.
there you go. Exactly. I was just going to say, that's why, it's always awesome to just get together with people, whether it's online, whether it's in person, or even, I don't know, through a phone call, do a focus group, because you really, really don't know where your next idea is going to come from, or that next solution that you've been focusing for the past 6 months trying to figure out, how do I solve this problem? It might just be in a casual outing, sipping wine or drinking water, and somebody say something, and you go like, oh my God, that's exactly what I've been looking for. So
Yeah, that's the answer.
Exactly. So before we go, I know when we're having fun, time seems to fly and get off our plates here. I just wanted to do regular routine and share with everybody where you can watch Creative Chat Cafe. This is the website that you would go, www.entrepreneurs@soar.com. There's a tab that says Watch Hangouts, and that's the Creative Chat Cafe page. So when you click on that, you will actually see all our previous episodes, content, and we blog about it. The videos are in there. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, and this is the Entrepreneurs at SOAR YouTube channel. You can watch any of the past episodes, and what's great with the new format for the show is if you're on your desktop and click on the video that you want to watch, we actually have inserted a table of content. So if you don't have 30 minutes to watch the video and you just really want to do specific targets on the topics that we discuss in the show, you can literally go to the timeline and pick any of the time here and really go to the topics. So if you have 3 minutes, you can probably just watch this right here. So you can also find us in the Google Plus Creative Chat Cafe community. Please join us. We don't like to speak alone or talk by ourselves here. We have our tabs here. Come in, introduce yourself. We have post-show conversations, and we would love to know who you are and what you do. So come in and introduce yourself. Other than that, let's take a little bit of time here to have Julie and Rich share the information so you can connect with them and maybe, who knows, have the next question or idea from them. Julie, go ahead.
Yeah, so anyone who wants to get a hold of us, please go to superinterns.com, which is right below me. And we're happy to help people looking for interns, internship programs, career advice, or people who need internships. We can help everybody.
Thank you, Julie. Hey. Rich, please.
Well, the easiest way to find me, because my name is much too complicated to spell sometimes, just go to recessatwork.com, and that'll take you right to me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's been a great episode. I mean, we could really go on and on because there's a lot of information about, really about how to identify the potentials in your talent. There's a lot of things that you can go from there, but this has been a great panel because these are the people who actively do this on a day-to-day basis. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank Rich and Julie for coming on the show today, and talking about this great topic that is dear to their hearts. And thank you, Rich, thank you, Julie, for joining me this week. And until the next time, we'll see you on the next Creative Chat Cafe on entrepreneurs@soar.com, Wednesdays, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's raise our marks. Thank you. Have a creative and productive day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Zeph. Bye, Julie.
Bye, Rich.
Bye, Julie. Bye, Zeph.
Bye.
Bye.